Hold on. What's popping? What's dropping? This your boy live and direct in absolute full effect out the 832. Y'all already know how I do. I'm here live and direct in full effect out the 832 with my boy Craig Smith the second. You know what I'm saying? What's popping and what's dropping, brother?
Man, not much, man. We, as I said on my Facebook post, that we finally got this live stream as I promised was going because I had a few people hit me up and ask me about what's up with the live stream, what's up with the live stream, and my responses was IDK. I didn't know, so because I said I've been promising that you was gonna do this, man. I ain't want to lead them all in the lurch and then have us losing followers, subscribers, and shit like that. So, why don't you tell the man what you got in store for this show?
Well, I'm gonna interview my boy Craig live and directed full talk about his Chicago beginnings leading up to his Memphis beginnings. And we're going to talk about really his college life as well, man. But, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we're gonna go do this thing live and direct, man. I'm going to tag Craig as we speak, man, so we can get more people watching, you know, because this is a double simulcast. This is being simulcast on Facebook as well as YouTube. So, you know what I'm saying? Go on and pack on in here, man, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. So it is what it is, man. So what's the few topics you want to talk about before we get right into the main topic, bro?
None, because we're gonna talk about some stuff tomorrow.
Oh, we're gonna talk about some stuff tomorrow. Hold on, let me
Yep.
get to tag some people first before we just let me get the tag of some people. Let me get the tag yourself. Uh,
And, yeah. When you're done doing that, I'm gonna put a disclaimer about this with this interview as well. So
give me a high second. Okay. Trying to get as many people live as possible. All right, done. Live. Okay. So, got two people in this mug. What's up, Tyrone Legacy, man? My brother, my brother. Better get on your boxing. Oh, I'm gonna get on that after we get off this live stream, man. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be live and direct, man. So I appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, coming in the chat, man. We got people actually in the Facebook live. So that's cool. So, man, tell us about your Chicago beginnings, man. You know what I'm saying? Just tell us, you know what I'm saying? Because I know you came like during your teenage years, from my understanding, or adolescent years. Tell
my
us about your Chicago. Mhm.
actually, let me before I answer your question, let me go ahead and put a disclaimer on here. In this interview that my boy Jimmy J is gonna conduct, this ain't nothing pre-planned. This wasn't nothing that we ain't like some of these little networks or let's just be written there. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. We ain't Jimmy J isn't the black Jim Gray, okay? He ain't like that. He ain't like the ones that gotta get this. You know how Jim Gray does. He gotta get somebody to do this to make himself look good, i.e. the decision, i.e. um the deflate gate and all this other shit. Jimmy J is interviewing me, Craig L. Smith II, born October 14th, 1978, Cook County Hospital in Chicago, Illinois, 2:30 on a Saturday morning. I'm not gonna sit here and all the questions he's gonna ask me, I'm gonna be uncensored. I'm not coming across as arrogant as I'm saying it. I'm speaking the truth. Everything he's gonna ask me, Is nothing. Is nothing that he hit me up and asked me and say, "Well, Craig, I'm gonna ask you this. Craig, I'm gonna ask you that." He knows what to ask me and what not to ask, because there are going to be some people on here that's going to say, "Oh, well, Jimmy didn't ask Craig about this and about that." Want to know why Jimmy didn't ask me that? It's because he chooses not to. So with that, with that being said, I'm not. I'm going to be uncensored. I'm going to be uncut. And I'm going to be unfiltered. I've been on this earth for 41 years, and I want to continue to see beyond that. Beyond, I want to continue to see 41 more plus some. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I don't. I'm not. I don't lie about my life. You know, a lot of, like I said, that some people that think that they really know me don't know me, and it's gonna be some. And people. I will call out some names. I'm not gonna. I will say some good things about most people, and I'm gonna say some bad things about most people. Um, and I'm also and if also and I'm not and without and I'm not gonna pull any punches. You ain't he ain't we ain't pulling no punches in this interview. If you listen to any of our live streams, you know we don't pull any punches. What we say we don't talk about, we don't fucking talk about it, whether people don't like it or not. Whether people like it or they don't like it, they're gonna have to learn to live with it. We don't talk about politics on our live streams. We don't talk about um any any other kind of bullshit that's going on right here in this world right now. But politics is the main decorum. We don't talk about religion on here. I will go ahead and say yes. Yes, I am Baptist. I'm not. I do have some. On my mom's side of the family, there are a bunch of Bible thumping. There were a bunch of Bible thumpers on her side of the family. Okay, but this interview is going to be uncut, uncensored, unfiltered. So I'm not gonna, I'm gonna answer all the questions that he's gonna ask me. I'm gonna tell some stories. There's gonna, tell some good, I'm gonna tell some stories, but some of the good stories I'm not gonna share on here. Period.
Okay.
And people that think that they know me don't, but they are gonna really know me in this after this interview is conducted. So the question was, what was it like growing up in Chicago? I gotta say, growing up in Chicago was fucking fun. You hear me? It was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun. You had shit to do. Well into the later years, back in '89, and from '89 on out to because my pop started doing his fuckery, and I detailed that on I detailed that on the dedication to Craig Smith Sr. because I got more to tell you. Corey Wolf commented. Um, it was, from the time when I was growing up. I mean, back in the '80s. There was no excuse for people not to have anything to do up in Chicago. Period. I mean, if it was snowing or whatever, yes. Saturdays. I'm gonna tell you what. Saturdays is the most fun. Saturday morning cartoons, fucking Soul Train, and then you go outside to play. You play to about like 4:30, 5 o'clock. Get that echo out in the background. From 4:30 to 5, between 4:30 because 5 o'clock we all knew on if you had cable, WTBS, NWA Wrestling came on, and then after that it was in the house. It was whatever. Sometime like on Fridays, my Friday nights, yeah, it was Friday night TV, Gino's Pizza Night, and NBA. And but like I said, I had fun. My childhood. Let me clear up this presumption of me so I can shut everybody the fuck up. I was born the only child, and no, I was not spoiled. I was not coddled. It was fucking tough. It was fucking tough, man, because as I detailed on the Craig Smith Senior tribute, Pops didn't know when to fucking stay at home, when to fucking stay at home. Okay, the only time he only came home when he only came home when my mom had her little bread in the house, and that was it. And after that, he dipped. He did that little fuck shit. Um, my childhood was not as all good and gravy as everybody all make it out to be, or as my mom made it out to be, which was nothing more than a fucking smoke screen if everybody knew what went on. So I'm going to tell everybody what went on behind the scenes. It was pure bullshit. Yeah, my Christmas, this was fun, but then you know like I said, most of '89, like most of the whole summer '89, I'll tell this story. My pops was gone for a whole fucking 5 months from the house. Summers in Chicago is the equivalent as here in it is in the South. Yes, it does get hot in Chicago. There was a time, man, where we moms had to literally borrow electricity from a neighbor of ours downstairs. She was real cool, so she can watch her soap opera, so she can do this, so she can do that. Mom's kind of made it all about her. But then, like when I wanted to watch like my wrestling or whatever, nope, couldn't do it. So it sucked being in the dark. It sucked having to cool your, like refrigerate your food in the cooler, and then having to go back and forth getting bags of ice, which I felt at the time for a 10-year old child, it was really fucking embarrassing. But mind you,
Right.
we did have gas. Okay, we had gas by default, but just
Mhm.
we didn't have no. There were points in time, man, where we didn't have no electricity, and there was one time, man. My mom's uncle made his personal mission to locate my pops so he can beat his ass one winter, because this one fucking winter, man, it was so fucking cold. Where we had heat, but mom's had the bar quote from Tupac, "Mom made miracles."
Mhm.
Um, like she had to muster up everything, muster up what she could find and throw out in the refrigerator to make sure that I was fed. And sometimes she even went to bed hungry because of my pops. So me being the only child, it wasn't spoiled. I was not spoiled. It was tough. So anybody thought that I was spoiled, fuck you. I'm just being honest. Go fuck yourself. It was fucking tough.
Mhm.
During the later years, I've seen what kind. Like I said, I truly saw what kind of person my pops was, and to be honest, Jimmy, um, like I said at my pastor's funeral, he was a hard dude to love, and really, I couldn't, and there were times, man, I'll be honest, I couldn't trust neither one of my parents. I couldn't trust moms nor pops when I was younger. And even during my teenage years, I couldn't trust them because they would always promise me things that they couldn't deliver. You know,
Mhm.
so it was pretty tough, but despite the negative, I mean, hey, there were times that did have fun. Like playing in the fucking snow and shit like that. Yeah, the old rule was, hey, you beat the street light in the summer. You beat the street light. Whatever. When it was time to come in the house, or after playing and stuff like that. You know, uh, like I can't remember as far back as I know his mom's told me like when I was 3 years old and shit like that. They had a lot of shit and stuff going on, and I think I told you the story. That's when my uncle, my pastor's brother, Wesley, Uncle Wes, he had to come. That man had to come over to the house to G check his ass one time about my pastor, about himself, about his priorities. And we both, and I said it on the Craig Smith Senior show. It was when you factored in, I think with his brother getting killed, man, he just basically said, man, fuck this shit. As far as like life and his priorities and everything. So, but like I said, my mom, man, she about with her, she was born. Well, she wasn't born. Um, when she was pregnant with me, she was diagnosed with a retinitis pigmentosa. That's a inflammation of the retinas, which can cause blindness.
Right.
And at the time when she got it, she and because then I found out from her, cause one of my other family members, my mom's was nearsighted. So she was nearsighted and shit and everything. And you know, I always kind of attribute the fact that I think Pops kind of took it out on me because hey, he couldn't do shit for mom. He didn't want to be the man. He everything the load was all on him because of mom's blindness and stuff like that. And there was one point where he did confess to me that he was angry with me because he felt that with mom's being pregnant with me, that kind of that really was the cause of her situation. So I was like, well, that was kind of fucked up thing to say, you know. And mainly he told some of his friends that, and which was kind of fucked up. And I've had some, and I will have some opinion about some of his friends during this interview. And before she came down there, because she met my pops at the Christmas party in the year in '76, and at the time she was working at Saks Fifth Avenue. Now, had she not been stricken with that, she would have been dealing somewhere, but she would have been retired, happily retired, or probably would, somewhere working, not related to FedEx, or she probably retired as man with somewhere in management or something. So, but yeah, I had some fun times in my childhood, and I've had some rough times, and I think summer '89 from there on out really attributed to some rough times, and I've really had some rougher times when I moved to Memphis. So,
Okay. Speaking of your childhood, I know the '85 Bears. What was what was what was it like to see Chicago win a championship? The Chicago Bears win a championship. Now I know you're currently I know what you're a Green Bay fan, but being in a city where your city wins a championship, it's different when you're in a city that's actually got a championship. How was that experience like seeing Chicago, the Bears, win the championship?
I'll put it like this: the whole city had a party, and hell, we lived in a apartment because we had little duplex style apartments because we lived like on the second floor. We even had a party. We even had a small little Super Bowl party at the house when they won. So like the Geno's Pizza, the burgers, and all the other stuff. That was something. That was monumental for the city of Chicago, man. When '85 Bears did that shit. I was because they won '86. Because they won in January '86. I would have been 9 months later. I would have been 8 years old. I was 7 years old when they won the championship. And man, the neighborhood I lived in, they were partying all up and down, talking about, yeah, the Bears won. So I don't know, I don't know what was more shocking, either when the neighborhood cut up when the Bears won, or when my neighborhood all burst out of their houses when Tyson got knocked out 4 years later. I watched that. My pops and I watched that fight on Showtime. We watched that shit. We was like, Tyson got knocked out. Like, what the fuck? So I'm jumping the gun on that. Go ahead.
Speaking of Tyson, nigga, I started crying when that nigga got knocked out because I thought the nigga was dead. Because my dad had to tell me at that time, he was like, shit, he's not dead. He just got knocked the fuck out.
We was stuck because Pops was like, he got knocked out.
Yeah, my dad rarely cussed, but it was me, my brother, and my sister actually watched that fight because we had the scrambler boxes.
It showed straight on Showtime, dog. It showed straight up on Showtime.
It was we had the scrambler boxes, so we weren't paying for none of that shit. My dad, we wasn't doing none of that shit. But man, but continue about the Chicago Bears, man.
But when the Bears won, man, that was, they threw the little celebration, a little party for them and everything, and shit. The following year, they could have did it again, but the Redskins beat their ass.
Mm-hmm.
Redskins had beat their ass, and that could have been a nice little duel between the '86 Giants and the '86 Bears. Number one defense against the number two defense. So, but city of Chicago, man, they spirits is really uplifted when that happened. And I always make a running joke that when I moved to Memphis, when I moved from Chicago to Memphis, the Bulls would have to win the fucking title 5 years later.
Yes, sir.
So, but yes, I mean, yeah, Chicago, man. Like I said, if you didn't have no excuse not to do anything, dog. It. The only way you had an excuse not to do anything was the inclement weather. If the weather was really fucked up.
Yeah. Now, I remember one year back in 1988, the Chicago Bears was the number one team in the NFC.
That was strike season.
I'm sorry. It was the year that San Francisco beat Cincinnati in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But San Francisco was like the number two team in the NFC, but they had a 10-6 fucking record, and it was a couple of teams that they played had better records than them. But how did Chicago feel? Because they were talking about all around town that Chicago is supposed to make the Super Bowl. I think this is a year Walter Payton retired. They had Anderson kid, I can't think of it off the top of my head. But at running back, he was a Pro Bowler a few times while he was there. What was it like to see San Francisco go to y'all house and whoop y'all ass 28-3 in Chicago? I'm speaking to the Chicago fans, but you're living in that city. What was it like? Tell me what was it like for you?
Well, I wasn't much of a football fan then, but I know it was a lot of cussing in that neighborhood. It was a lot of cussing in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because if you pull up the Bears, that 88, what you said, because they beat the Bengals. Okay, the 88 season. It was 89. The Bears had the fucking number one defense in 88. 2 years in a row, they had the number one defense. And also, 2 out of 3 years, they led the league in points allowed. Because the 86 Bears had the fewest points allowed at 187. The 2000 Baltimore Ravens broke that with 165 points allowed. That record still stands to this day. But as far as I recall, it was a lot of goddamn cussing around there. And then my neighbor, her boyfriend, I think I told you about him off the air. He had a lot of money. He had him and a couple other guys and had a nice little round figure on that game. So yeah, that's where the majority of the cussing was from. So
yeah, cause like back in '84, Chicago, even though San Francisco was 15-1, a lot of people was split on that particular team, in spite of San Francisco being 15-1. I think Chicago was like 14-2, and they got shut out. I think it was like 24-0.
28-0.
28-0. So, and then to come back 4 more years later and get your ass whooped in your house like that by San Francisco and Joe Montana, I know Chicago people were sick. I mean, yeah, 85 season, it relieved some butt hurt.
Well, you got to think the year before that. Now, the Minnesota Vikings went to San Fran and put the hurt on their ass on their home field.
And then San Fran came back the next year, especially with that Roger Craig 80-yard touchdown and whooped their asses.
Yep.
So they got revenge on the Vikings, and again, the Vikings had a better record. I think the Vikings that year was like 12-4 that year, and the
Vikings also had the number one. 49ers had the number one offense, number 2 defense. Vikings had the number 1 defense and the number 2 offense.
And they got shredded. And that's one.
And the 84 Bears were 10-6.
And that was like.
And the Bears lost 23-0 to the Super Bowl to the 49ers that year.
And that was Jerry Rice's coming out party. Now, tell me your experience as a Chicago Bulls fan. And what was it like being a kid actually seeing Michael Jordan first come to Chicago? And, first of all, how was it like for him to first get drafted? What was people's perception of Michael Jordan when he got drafted in Chicago from what you remember? Because I know you was young, but what did you remember about Michael Jordan getting drafted in Chicago?
Only thing I remember about Michael Jordan was when I first saw him against Larry Bird.
That's the only thing you can. Okay,
That was the only
okay.
thing I remember. Because I know he got drafted in '84. I mean, like I said, I didn't follow, and I was 5 when he got drafted. Because a lot of people didn't know the trivia. Originally, he was going to be drafted by Portland.
That's correct. You're absolutely correct.
So, and Sam Bowie would have been going to the Bulls. So maybe, and I think, and for me saying it now, in my opinion, I think it benefited the Bulls in the long run, and that was a good thing. And Jordan didn't have no help. Jordan, he's the real greatest of all time. The greatest of all time has a losing record against another Hall of Famer in the playoffs, and that's Larry Bird. Because the following season, the Bulls got swept 3-0 in the first round. Yes, in the following year after Jordan made his playoff debut by scoring 63 points, in which Larry Bird proclaimed, and I think he foretold it by calling Jordan not only just God, but he's going to mess around and be the greatest of all time one day. And Larry Bird was fucking correct. In 19, and I'm going to tell you something here. The best thing we did, everybody said, well, Doug Collins was a good coach. True enough. But Doug Collins couldn't get us over the hump. And when we got Phil Jackson, everybody felt that 89 and 90 year for the Bulls was the Bulls' year.
Yeah.
It was. It was. And easily, if the Bulls had played Portland that year in the 90 NBA Finals, that would have been an easy 4-game sweep.
I agree.
But vengeance saved the Bulls the following year when we swept the first round. Could have swept Philly in the second round, but we had to throw them a mulligan in game 4.
Mm-hmm.
We threw them a mulligan in game 3. We won 4 out of 5 against Philly in the second round, and then we beat Detroit's ass in record fashion, much like the San Antonio Spurs did to the LeBron James Miami Heat team in the finals, and blew them out 4-0. Then against the Lakers, yeah, we threw them a mulligan in the first round. Matter of fact, because it was on bad defense. And I gotta give it to Sam Perkins. Yeah, that's Jordan's old teammate. Jordan and dude, yeah, he was a power forward. He had a nice 3-point stroke. I wish he had missed that 3-pointer, because that would have been an easy 4-game sweep there. If I had been living in Chicago on my old address, Google it, 308 West 106th Place in Chicago, Illinois, I would have been part of that celebration, because I heard that whole neighborhood threw a block party, automatic block party, when the Bulls won the title.
And the distance between your neighborhood, you wasn't that far from the old Chicago Stadium. Am I correct in that assessment?
I was pretty far from it.
Oh, you was pretty far from it. Okay.
Yeah, because you had to catch the L train. You had to catch a bus, go to the 95th and Dan Ryan bus station, train station, catch, you can catch either 2 buses, the bus or the train. Preferably, you can catch train because you get to your stop quick and meet your next bus where you got to go, or you can just walk where you got to go. If you had to go home, you can easily walk. So,
yeah, because Chicago being 232 square miles, I'm just talking about the city limits, because the metropolitan area is the same size as Houston, Texas. But Chicago being 232 square miles, I'm thinking everything. It's densely populated, but not as densely populated as my imagination is coming across. Because I'm used to driving far out, you know what I'm saying, to get to downtown or wherever the hell I go. So if you say it's pretty far, then you know more about Chicago than hell I do and stuff like that.
Right.
So what made you a Packers fan? Did you being a Packers fan, even though you're from Chicago, and Green Bay is really not, probably a couple of hours, an hour and a half, if I'm not mistaken, from the city. What made you a Packers fan? Did you become a Packers fan as a kid, or did you become a Packers fan as a grown man?
Well, when I started being a teenager, and they got this, and when they traded for this guy by the name of Brett Favre, and they had Sterling Sharp as the wide receiver.
Which I believe you could argue he's easily a Hall of Famer. Even
He
though
is a Hall of Famer. Him and his brother.
I got to do some research on that, but I'll take
Yeah,
it.
I think he is.
Yeah, but
But yeah, that's what made me become a Packer fan, man. And Packers is doing something that the Bears weren't doing at first. They didn't want to change shit. You know, Packers was throwing the, Bears was more smash mouth, and you knew Dicker, he was all about the run and the hard defense and fuck the passing game. You know, NFL at the time was changing when you had guys like up in Detroit, like fucking Herman Moore and Barry Sanders run, the run and shoot offenses, and Mike Holmgren had the West Coast offense, stuff like that. Offense was changing. San Fran, they stable was the West Coast offense as well. So I started liking them when Brett Favre when Brett Favre joined them.
Okay. So,
And even though they make me sick sometimes now, but I still like them. And I follow the Bears every now and then. The Bears are doing good. And even though some Bear fans will agree that they need to get rid of Mitch Trubisky, but that's another story another time.
most definitely. Now, how close you were, discluding your mom and father, how close were you to your family in Chicago? You know what I'm saying? How close were you to the family member that's in Chicago, rather than currently there or at the time was there? How close you were to the family out there?
Well, God rest his soul. With my mom's uncle and my other cousins on that side of the family, I was real close because the street I stayed on 106, all I had to do, I just had to walk to his house. I was real close to them. My other cousins, man, my other family members, the old saying, you can love them, but you can't like, but you can love them, but you don't necessarily have to like them.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely relate.
well, back then, I really, I didn't mind going on my Aunt Lee's house and stuff like that, but, like with my cousin, which were her grandchildren, they did some things. I'm not saying names. They did some things. They were, when they were growing up, I mean, they was doing shit that just didn't make any sense as a person trying on putting on a two left shoes, they I told you about Six Figure guy. I'm not gonna say his name.
Mm-hmm.
He love him, but he did some old fuck shit back in the day with me, mistreated me um and shit like that. Like I even forgive this one time, and not telling a lie. One time he kicked me when I was talking with him. The man kicked me dead in my nuts. I was about 11. So I didn't appreciate that. So I got up when he was like, I think he was going down the stairs or something to the basement. So when I got up, I pushed his ass down the stairs. That's a true story. That's a true story. That's a true story. And
You said,
then
you said, is this your uncle or your cousin that
my
kicked you?
cousin. No, hell no, not my mom's uncle. No, hell
Okay,
no.
I want to be.
Hell no.
I
That
want
dude was built like Marco Clark. Dude, my mom's uncle was let me hold on. My mom's uncle was built like Michael Clark Duncan, dog. Okay? So yeah. But no, hell no. I'm talking about my cousin on the aunt side. I took the six figure man.
Yeah,
The one I told you, huh?
he deserved to get pushed down to some goddamn.
Yeah, I remember I pushed his ass down the damn stairs, and then everybody talking about what you do that for. I said he kicked me in my balls. But do you think he got in trouble for that? Y'all, he didn't get in trouble for that until later on. I got my ass whooped because I said the word balls I said the word balls in a how can I put this? I didn't have no business saying balls up in the house.
I know don't give a damn if he kicked you in the ball.
But I'm like, man, bro, you kicked me. I'm like, man, you kicked me dead in my nuts when I was messing with him, and he had a fucking attitude. So,
Yeah,
but at the time, 17. I mean, and at the time, his not with not well, he had a girlfriend. His first girlfriend, but he's married now. Um, that's who he had his first daughter by. His first girlfriend. He was smelling. He was smelling his He got him a little girlfriend. He was smelling. He was smelling his shit a little bit deep. He was smelling his shit. He was smelling his shit so deep to the point he started liking the smell of it. So I was just basically just half and half. So like I said, my cousins with that's on my mom's uncle side and stuff like that.
Just wanted you to keep an update on it, but continue.
Okay, yeah. Good game. My cousin on my the cousins on my mom's uncle side, I was more close to them than I was on her aunt's side. Than the ones I got on my aunt's side, because they could have. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna be uncensored. They're grown now, because one just turned 50 last month. Two Scorpios. One just turned 50. The older sister turned 50, and six-figure man. The six-figure man. He's gonna be 48 this year. You would think that, with them growing up and stuff like that, because from what I found out, their mom had died of a drug overdose. And not gonna get into detail on that. That's what that's what my mom told me. They gave her a hot drug, and said it was a hot dose from what was told, from word on the streets was at the time, from what she had heard. You would think, man, that they would know better, growing up and stuff like that, and stuff as they did when they got older and as they got older. But they have no excuse. The mistreatment, the talking crazy, talking crazy to folks and stuff like that. And, and I really got tired of it. And then, and I would think, and, and I was really, and at that time, that young age, I really had grown toward a little resentment toward my moms and pops, because I felt that they were just too, I'm gonna say it, they were just too arrogant, just too ignorant to not understand what the fuck was going on, and just didn't do anything about it, or really didn't put neither one of them in their place.
Yeah.
So do I harbor some resentment toward them still? Yes. Not to my cousins, yes, I do. Because they should know better. They, here my mom is, like I said, I'm going to go on public and say it. She's struggling, and we're all family.
Yeah.
But while some of your family members are struggling and everything else, y'all, they got their asses partying all up in Monumental Gay Paris, France, Vive la France, and UK Kingdom and Cancun and all that other little shit. I'm like, well, damn. And I look at them and I ask myself, okay, what have we done for them just to kind of alienate us a little bit? We're all family. If we're not, and if we're not family to you anymore, hey, let us know. That way we can keep it moving. And for the record, their grandma, my aunt, she had a 90th birthday in early October, and my mom talks to her periodically when she can. So you can't say that my mom has never contacted her on and never talked to her on it, which is bullshit. But she has.
Yeah.
So,
and, I just wanted to say happy 90th birthday to her as well.
Agreed. But they, like I said, and really, I mean, they should know better. They know who they are. you know, I don't have to say any names. They know who they are. And again, point of my early disclaimer, if you got an issue, because I'm saying, like I said, I'm not pulling, I did not, I'm not pulling punches in this interview. Without fear of reclamation, if you feel I disrespected you, it'd be heavily advised you do this main one thing, which is call my phone number, which is in my Facebook profile, or you can email me, or you can message me. You know, I don't fuck with cowards who will block my ass off Facebook and then talk shit about me behind my back. I got ways of finding out. I got, and like I said, hey, you know, I'm not, I have my ways of finding out how the fuck you talking about my ass, even when you have me blocked. So, but yeah, but you know, it is what it is. That's what I said. You know, but to answer your question, Jimmy, which I did, and you know, solid. You know, bottom line, I'm on really with on my mom's. Most people on my mom's side of the family, I'm on neutral ground, and then on my pop side of the family, you know, everything we're pretty cool. So, you know,
Most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. How was going to school in Chicago? What was it like to be in the Illinois slash public school system? First of all, let me ask you this question: was the Chicago school system an independent school system, or Cook County was all merged together in terms of their school system? How was it like? How was their setup of their school system? And you know what I'm saying? How was it like going to school? That's a two-part question.
okay. Answer your second. Let me answer your first question first. That I don't know. Um, but your second question, going to school to Chicago was pretty fun. You know, I got there on time because you know the general rule of thumb is this,
Uh huh.
and I'm explaining how ass backwards some of these little fucking southern states is because I'm like Vince McMahon on this one. I can't stand the South. Yeah, I know you got a question for me on that one. I'm gonna be visceral on that one.
Uh huh. Go ahead.
As long as you turned 5 years old before the news, as long as your child at the time I was going, and the general rule is supposed to be, as long as you turned five, you know, before the new school year, you started on time. So when I started first grade back for the 83-84 school year, I was five. I was getting ready to turn. No, let me remember. No, 83-84. I still was in 83-84. I still was in kindergarten. So I was about to turn four when I was still in kindergarten. I was four going on five. So 84-85 school year, I was already 5 years old. So I was good. So now you know, Jimmy, they got the little fucked up rule where you can be in kinder, you know, you gotta be five, you know, pre-K, 5 years old, and all the other, just some other fucking bullshit, and it'll piss me off to talk about it, but it was a nice experience, man. Going to school up in Chicago, I went to what was then known as George W. Curtis Elementary School, so now it's known as George W. Curtis Vocational School, I believe,
Huh.
and you know they work with you on a lot of stuff. I've had some fuck teachers, man. And I don't like to speak ill about. I don't mean to speak ill about one. My first grade teacher, her name was Miss Jane Ireland. Now my best teacher was my fourth grade teacher. Her name is Miss Patricia Sledge. So if she's listening in Chicagoland. Hey, Sledge. Uh, but Miss Ireland, man, she was, you know. Let me be careful what I say about this. I don't want to call it the wrong word. She was a motherfucker with herself.
Shit.
You know, I didn't want to say the wrong. I don't want to do anything, but just hear what it is. As a teacher, she was a motherfucker with herself, man. Grabbing folks. all by the arm and then digging their arm deep. You know, like one time I saw her, man, she grabbed me my arm one time, dog. I felt her fucking nail on my bone. That's how hard. That's how I'm like, and that shit really hurt. And there was one time we went on a field trip, and shout out to if she's and I know she's still there. Frankie Swoop. That was my pops' old classmate. And if you listening, hey, my pops passed away 2 years ago. I've been trying to get in contact with you from on the George W. Curtis Elementary Group to pass the word along one of the old students. But I'm gonna tell you how a motherfucker Miss Ireland was, man. We went on a field trip one time, and everybody had their lunch, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I had my lunch. So and then this one kid, he didn't know he didn't want to sit there. Now I felt bad. Everybody felt bad, and I felt bad for him. He didn't have his lunch, so Miss Allen was like, "Well, you should have knew you should have knew you had a lunch. Should have knew to brought a lunch. So you gonna sit there and you gonna sit and you just gonna sit there and not eat." So me being as what I am, I had a sandwich, and it was cut in half, and Pops fixed the sandwich. So I told him, I said, "Here." I gave him half of my sandwich. I gave him half of my sandwich, and I gave him and I really had like two drinks in there. So I had two of them little high C punches. So I had one, and I gave him the other one. I said, "Here, you can have mine, man." Here I was 6 years old, dude, believing in not being selfish. I showed being more selfless at 6 years old than adults did back then and now. Cause it is some selfish, stupid motherfucking adults right now. Uh, when she saw when I did that, I'm talking about Miss Island now, she went over, took the dude's lunch that I gave him and threw it away.
Shit.
I'm like, and everybody was like, and then we couldn't say nothing. We were children. We couldn't say nothing. But um, Frankie, talking about Miss Swoop now, but Frankie told Pops about it and said that, yeah, your son gave one of the one of his students, told him about what happened. She said, but he was like, "I've been going there and this is what he said. He said, "I'm gonna go in and tell this little light skinned this light skinned bitch off." That's what he said. And I remember he said that, and Frankie stopped him. He said, and Frankie stopped him, and she said this. She said, "No." She said, "Smitty, I know." She said, "Smitty, I know how your ass was back in high school. I took care of that for you. I took care of that for you." Say, okay. I mean, Miss Adam, good teacher, but she was a motherfucker with herself sometimes. Now, Miss Sledge, my 4th grade teacher, oh man. And Miss Brown, my 7th grade teacher. Them were my two best teachers right there. Miss Sledge, my 4th grade teacher, and Miss Brown was my 7th grade teacher. And she was my last teacher in George W. Curtis Elementary.
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, I came here to Memphis, but going to school there, I mean, it was a learning curve. I mean, sometimes you had after school programs you could participate in, like the social center stuff. Where you can play basketball, stuff like that. It was available for like 4:30 and stuff like that. I knew what time I had to get home, so because like when it said 4:30, 4 o'clock came, and daylight savings time at that time, it started getting dark around about between 4:30. So my ass would run all the way home. Right when I got a halfway point, my ass would run all the way home. Remember, I had to beat the street light. I would run all the way home and then run up and then everything else. So there was stuff to do as a kid at that elementary school. Social center, and then like the summer, during the summer, it was optional if you wanted to go to summer school or not, or if you wanted to go to summer school or not. Whereas now we're here in the South, you here in places like Memphis and everything else, you got to pay to go to summer school, which I find to be fucked up.
Absolutely ridiculous.
But the school system in Chicago was advanced and fucking light year and was light years ahead of its time.
Yeah,
It was ahead of its time.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I hear that a lot when people come from Chicago to most places in the South.
Yeah. Okay. No, that was me. I was reading a comment Corey
Oh,
Wolf
okay,
left on.
I wanted to make sure that wasn't on me, but from my understanding, you know, outside of Texas, because Texas is an independent school system state.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So everything is pretty much, you know, if your kid don't learn shit, then that's pretty much on the parents out here. But outside of that, outside of outside of Texas, for the most part, most schools in the South are behind. Florida, Georgia, maybe closest to closest to Chicago. You know, they're still like years ahead, but they're about the closest. You know what I'm saying? Because I think those are independent school district states. Big sister, please correct me if I'm wrong on that, or anybody that lives in those states, please correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I hear that all the time, and like if one of those school teachers had to did me like that, because I remember one time as a kid uh, going to Evans Elementary, it was a woman named Miss Bad Words, aka Miss Henderson. I remember one time she hit me with a ruler, and I took the ruler from the bitch and hit her with the goddamn. Gregory Reynolds or Gregory Reynolds, if he comes across his live streams, he probably can vouch for me as well as Mr. Omar Langhorn, that's on my Facebook friends list. Yes, I literally whooped that bitch with a fucking ruler. And my mother can vouch for me as well as my brother. All my siblings can vouch. Oh, that gives you how crazy the fuck I am. So
This man said he took the ruler from the teacher hit him with the ruler. He took the ruler and hit her and saw whoop her ass with it. That's some damn comedy shit there, dog.
if you went to Evans Elementary with me in kindergarten at that particular time, please vouch for me on this because it's true. It's dead ass serious. My mother probably don't remember it because she's up there in age, but it's dead ass serious, brother. I mean, that's what I would probably did to that woman for taking my lunch in throwing it in the garbage can. I would have probably bit her ass because I actually bit a teacher before. I don't think it. I think I did Miss Dowd. I did a couple of teachers like that as a damn kid. I was crazy as hell. I was crazy as hell. But yeah, nevertheless, your Chicago school experience was a beast.
And it was and you know, I mean, cut you off. And also, I'm gonna tell you one thing. The only bad thing about it was the teachers stayed going on fucking strike. Period. I mean, they just got done with the strike this Friday, yesterday.
Can you blame them? Shit.
The teachers stayed going on fucking strike. I remember one day. I remember one week, man. We was out we were getting ready to go to school. Moms was getting ready. You know, I got myself ready for school. Get ready to walk to school. Get ready to go downstairs. Mom said, "Come on back." Okay. So said the teachers said, "Well, the teachers been going on strike." I'm like, "So it's no school?" She's like, "Nope." I'm like, "Dang." I said, "Okay." So went back in there, man, because we had to be at school at 9, and I would walk with several of my buddies and stuff like that. We would all walk to school together. It would take us 15 minutes to walk to the school. So that's how far the school was. It was walking distance. You had and seeing and that's the beauty of it. You had a buddy system.
Yeah.
That you walked. You know, you had certain people that you walked to school with. You had that buddy system, man. And then when I moved further out of the neighborhood, I had to catch the bus to my school, and bus ride back then, which is was 50 cent for me. It was 50 cent back then. 50 cent going, 50 cent coming back. Sometimes my ass would walk home if I didn't feel like waiting on the bus.
Wow.
I would walk home. But other than that, it was fun. I mean, you had it was learning curve. You know, They didn't believe in no leave no child behind like Memphis City schools did or whatnot. More on that later. But like I said, I had fun. I had more fun in Chicago. I'm gonna be honest, I had more fun in Chicago than I did in Memphis.
I can imagine. Now, what are some of the theme parks in places for kids to go in Chicago? And let me ask you this as well. Pretty much a two-part question. Did you ever go on the Bozo the Clown show?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Okay. I'm just making sure. Okay. Because a lot of kids from Chicago, I'm some of my family members was on Bozo the Clown show. So I got hundreds of family members in Chicago. Anyway. But what was some of the theme parks kids could go to in Chicago in the 80s? In the early part of the 90s prior to you coming to Memphis. Tell us about that.
Well, I know as a kid, man, Pops took me to Navy Pier one time. That was fun. You know, the different boats and stuff. And but you know, sometimes Six Flags, Six Flags Great America would come, stuff like that. I never had a chance to go to that. I'm telling you from what I remember where I went. The Barnum and Bailey Circus, that came. I remember when I was in the 6th grade, the Disney on Ice was at Chicago Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
That was there. And in person, it's fucking big. The Chicago Stadium is fucking bigger in person than it is on TV. From the inside. Because where I was sitting, I had some good seats. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna echo it out. I'm gonna tell you how I felt like.
Mm-hmm.
It felt pretty far from where I what city. So
I literally just thought that was a fucking echo.
that was me.
No. Get out of here, damn. I'm gonna press that button. Get out of here, you damn nigga. Nevertheless.
But Navy Pier, that's from what I remember. But in Six Flags, I never had a chance to go to Six Flags and stuff like that. But Pops took me to Navy Pier as a kid, and that was, it was pretty fun. Kicking around and stuff like that, like all by the boats and stuff. He took me like with the boats, and then he had a setback when he saw the wall. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Wall. Explain to the audience what's the wall, please.
The wall is the memorial of all the fallen veterans that fell in the war. Where it ranged from World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War.
Uh-huh.
His name happened to be up.
Yeah.
So he was pissed about that.
Wow.
And when I showed him, I said, Pop, Craig L. Smith. And when I ain't call him Pops, I said, Dad, your name up here. He said, boy, stop lying. And I pointed. He was like, what?
He straight spazzed out.
He was about to, and he had to he was about to. So he had to compose himself a little bit, man. He had to call I know he had to go to a payphone and call my mom and stuff and tell her what I saw. She was like, whoa. So, they had, and he went over to the list and it said if your name wasn't called as being something like if your name wasn't called or something like you were dead or you were, you was on that memorial wall. So when his name, when they didn't say his name was on the list, it was a whole entirely different, all different Craig Smiths and stuff. But then that wasn't him. But they were saying, well, what they show on that wall, yeah, that's it. It was like, and Pops was like, fuck. So he had to straighten out. And I think the thing told me years later, when that's when he was sober. He brung that up. He said, I gotten that straightened out. He said that, he said that wasn't me. I was like, hmm. And he just came out the blue. He came out the blue and remembered that. But that's when he was sober at one point.
Because I know with those walls, even if you're not dead, if you're missing in action, you'll be. It was a lot of people that end up being found, but it was a lot of people missing in action. So a lot of those people was on that wall as well, from my understanding as well.
Mm-hmm.
Who was your childhood friends in Chicago, going back to your school days in Chicago? Because I'm pretty sure you had some childhood friends out there in Chicago. And also, are y'all friends to this day, or was y'all able to keep in contact when you came to Memphis?
I had three. One of them, the guy was by the name of Courtney Price.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to find him on Facebook and to no avail. I believe I did, but it's a whole bunch of Courtney Prices in Chicago. I couldn't figure out which one it was. I did get in contact with a guy by the name of two guys, Charles Lenore and Derek Neal. Shout out to them. Derek, he's living in Florida now. He's got a nice life, enjoying a married life and 3 children. Because I think I got started getting touching base with him because I last talked, man, and he had hit me up. Last I talked to him, he hit me up about with Pops. When told him Pops had passed away, and we talked for a good minute. I got to stay in contact with him. Charles and I, we weren't close, but we started becoming pretty cool now. He's older. I think he has 4 kids, and 4 of them, 3, and they're all grown. And he runs it's a sandwich shop on 103rd. If anybody's familiar about it, on 103rd, I think he's still running it. I'm not sure, but I think that's when I last talked with him. But I know he's stuff's kind of setting him. He's having stuff going on with him as well. And another guy named his 2 brothers. One was named Bobby, and the other was named Antoine. I haven't seen them since I was in the 6th grade, and I couldn't think of Bobby. No, I couldn't think of Bobby's last name for the minute, man. I've been trying to locate and find him on Facebook. I said fuck it, but I have but out of those ones I've kept in contact with, Derek and Charles, we weren't friends. We were pretty cool because Derek could draw his ass off too. And he said he took a step back. He took a step back from it. He was gonna have to get back in it because when he saw one of my drawings, he was like, "This man motivated me to start back to drawing." So they were the only 2 I keep in contact when I can.
It's very beautiful. Did your family own a vehicle in Chicago? I'm talking about mother. I mean, well, she's blind, so I can't. Did your dad ever own a vehicle in Chicago, or y'all just walked and kept the L train or the Chicago Metro around town? So I wanted to know that.
No, well, really, he had 2 cars. I know he had his brother's car for a while, but come to find out, his brother's car had a lien on it.
Yeah.
So he had to get rid of it. So he had to ditch the car.
Wow.
Sadly, and it was a powder. I'm gonna tell you what it was. It was a powder blue and white Oldsmobile Cutlass.
Okay.
And the insides was all white.
Okay.
Leather interior. He had to get rid of it. But he sold when he got rid of it, he had they took the tires. He was gonna sell the tires, the white wall tires. So them were the best. He had to get rid of because he didn't know the car had a lien. And then another one that he bought with his own money, that was one of the most long ass Chryslers.
Okay.
And that That sucker was pretty nice. And he go out there. He was getting ready, go somewhere. He had a little job he was gonna go help somebody with. Somebody was towing the car. They was like, "Hey man, what you towing the car for?" He said, "Car pay. Hey, this car's paid for cash money. I got the title." Well, it was reported stolen.
Shit.
I'm like, and he was like, "What?" He said the car reported stolen. So, and then and then the boss he was working with at the time, he still had the title. He had somebody, his boss had a friend of his uh, that checked the VIN number and everything and stuff like that. It was a legit car. But the mystery of that car, and I'm trying to figure out how a car was stolen when it was bought and paid for. My pops' name was on the fucking title. So normally most time, yeah, we had to catch the bus. So they had to. Sometimes they had to catch the bus. Sometimes they had to walk catch the bus. They had to catch the bus to a little meeting point where they had to go, and and to the fifth damn ride to the L train, because that's what we had to do. We had to catch 95th. Had to go down 95th, and we had to catch the 70. I think it was the 72nd and 78th in Ashland bus to go to my Aunt Lee's house. That's the one that turned 90, and she stayed on 72nd in Ashland. So that was the bus we had. Yeah, we had to catch the bus. Like when mom's like when I'm going to clinic for appointments and everything, we had to catch the L train.
Now let me ask you a yes or no answer, because a lot of people that I know that either live in Chicago for a short period of time, a long period of time, they ran across situations where they found dead bodies in the middle of the streets out there. You never saw no situation like that, and you never seen somebody get killed. Because my mother, from what she told me years ago, she said she actually seen the dude get his brains blown out. So you never had to encounter that. Am I correct in an assessment?
No.
Okay. All right. So.
No.
All right.
But
okay.
We were warned. I was warned. We were all warned as little kids to not to cut through an alley because you never know what the fuck going on.
Yes, yes.
And the only time, and really the only time you probably need to go through the alley is when you emptying garbage.
Yes, yeah, I heard the same thing from family members as well that actually live out there and actually do live out there. They tell you, don't go to no alley unless you loaded or you don't want to get unloaded on. So they tell you that out there. Hey, this dark alley or the alley period out there. Don't fuck with it out there. So it is
what it is
when it comes to that. How did you feel when your parents told you was gonna have to come down to Memphis of all fucking places? Because we're gonna go to the Memphis. How did you feel? Because I know you had your three little friends. How did you feel? Initially, when your parents told you gonna have to come to Memphis. Let me back it up before we go there. Did you see people in Chicago with Cadillacs? Because you see a lot of
yes every day.
Every day.
Every day. Even when newer model Cadillacs is out, I'm gonna tell you something. Somebody was driving in Chicago, they were driving 3 cars. They would drive either Cadillac or Oldsmobile or Chevy.
Wow.
Cause my cousin, 6 figures, he had him it was bad. This dude was 17 years old. He had him a fucking a fully loaded. Now, if you know the box Monte Carlo,
mm-hmm.
and I rode in it, that sucker went. Damn.
Wow.
You rode in one of them. that man had one. That sucker sounded, and he said it's, and one guy, it was an old dude. We was coming out of the store. They said, man, that car sounds so good. They said, I like the way that. He said, I like to told my he took it was old remember old dude told my cousin, boy, I like the way that Monte Carlo purr.
Wow.
And he don't even put his foot on the gas, it was sounding like that, just.
Dang.
But he had to sell it years later.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Talking about like in the 90s or whatnot. That was a nice car too, boy. That sucker was black. He had that and he almost got his ass in trouble too. If he had not listened to his uncle, which is Pops, which is Smitty, which is this. He fucked around and got limo tint on there. On his windows. Limo tint was illegal. And it still is his day.
In Illinois, yes, that's
In Illinois, that was highly illegal. So he told him he had to, get that. He had to hurry up, get that he had to hurry up, get that changed out. So partner his did the little tent, put it to the state limit or whatever. Because certain policemen, they can ride around that limo tent. They're legal to do. They authorized to do that. He had to ride around with the default tent.
mm-hmm.
So, but then been seeing others during that time was riding around with that clear tint on there, and stuff like that. So, yeah, everybody, yeah, that question there, everybody's riding around in Cadillacs. Mainly, Cadillacs started winding down. Everybody's riding around in Chevys.
Now, which brings me, and I'm glad you asked. You mentioned that. Did you see people in Chicago riding on six folds out there?
I don't even think that was well. I've seen lowriders. I saw every few lowriders that back then. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The nerd in me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was a nerdy kid, so still am. But I thought that was pretty cool. But 6'4", I saw. I think I did see several people driving with the 6'4" rims and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot, and getting the fuck pulled over.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I saw my share of them, but I didn't see them as much as I did here in Memphis.
yeah, because I know it's more of a West Coast thing, but I know certain major cities like Chicago and New York, they had the drop top 6'4s, and because I know Ice Cube mentioned he got some guys from New York City to sing the Easy E verse. You know what I'm saying? Cruising down the street in my 6'4". Like, how the fuck you from New York City or any major metropolitan city and not know what a fucking 6'4" is? I'm like, what? How you gonna explain that? I'm like, I mean, I know people don't drive often, but I'm pretty sure you know what the fuck it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just had to bring it up because I know Chicago. You know what I'm saying? The new, Chicago is like a cosmopolitan. We bring it in the new style type city. You know what I'm saying? And I know, based on what you're telling me in this first hour and 13 minutes and counting, I know that you love Chicago. You had nothing but
No,
love.
no doubt.
So, which brings me to my question now. How did you initially feel when you knew you was going to come down south or go to Memphis? How did you initially feel?
Pissed off.
I bet you would.
Pissed off. Let me tell you the backstory about that.
Uh-huh.
Um, Never saw this dude. Guy by the name of Albert.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
that's my mom. That was my mom's father. God rest his soul. Um, because at the time, we were getting ready to move to another. We really the plan was for us to stay in Chicago.
Right.
We was about to find somewhere else to live because the house that we were at, if you Google 308 West 106th Place and you see that house, that was the house that we were at first. My aunt's boyfriend was the landlord. Okay. Okay. And he wanted to pull some fuck man, he wanted to pull some fuck shit with my mom's and shit. Call himself trying to be slick, by saying, wasn't paying rent and all this other little stuff, this and that. And you know, and we been, was paying and we was paying rent. Mainly mom's was. Pops wasn't doing shit. I can tell you that now. Pops really wasn't doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
But he was trying to pull some fuck shit with us, and then gonna turn around and go rent the place, and then wanted to rent the place, rented the place out to somebody else.
Right.
And that's what I was told. I was like, while we were there. So we like, whoa, what the fuck, man? Really? So that's what they were like. I was 11, but hearing all the conversations and stuff, what was going on, I already knew right then and there. And here I was, 11 years old. I already knew right then and there. Yeah, we get ready to move.
Mm-hmm.
So out the blue, uh, I don't know who called first. I think Albert called mom's or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Told us that we can, you know, we can move. And the way the conversation was presented was like, well, hey, y'all can move here with me. Cause I got a big house, I got enough room. Said, cause that way we can help each other out with all this and that. We help each other out here, this and that, such. Mom was like, okay. So we packed the truck up with all our fucking stuff. What made an 8-hour drive that turned into fucking 12 hours because we had to stop, get gas, and do this, do that. Um, and we got to Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy, I was just like, we moved, and I said this. I said, we moved from Chicago to this. We moved to South Memphis. And my house, and that house is no longer there. 1620 McMillan is no longer there. Okay. And I'm like, sidewalks ain't big enough as to where the sidewalks at. There ain't no sidewalks. And dude, when we went in the house, Mom's was like, ask Pops, how much gas in the truck? He was like, about 3/4 a tank. Why? She wanted to drive back up. She wanted to tell them, come on, let's drive on back up to Chicago. We'll find somewhere. But we made the best. But made we made the best out of a bad. We made the best out of a bad situation. I hated it. Um, people were fucking different. I ain't never seen a bunch. I'm saying it here. I ain't never seen a bunch of motherfuckers wear a whole bunch of Jerry curls in my goddamn life.
Oh man, that was the shit back then.
I'm talking about, dude. I mean, shit. They shook the man. If they shook the juice out the head, it could fill up half of a mop bucket, and you can mop the floor with that shit if you want to shine it. God damn, I'm like, walking around. I mean, and what was appalling? 15-year-olds in the 7th grade. Here I am, fucking 11 years old, and I already know you're gonna ask me about the school system. So, school system in Memphis was just so it's so fucking backwards. And later on, as I got older, it's so fucking political. Uh, retread the question you want to ask me about the difference with Hamilton and Southside, because in depth with it. What I gave to you, what gave people, the listeners on the Let's Draw on Something, was just a small preview. So I'm going to be very deliberate and tell the real difference between Hamilton and Southside. They wanted to put me, when I got into school,
Mm-hmm.
11 years old, 7th grade. I wasn't gonna turn 12. Matter of fact, I did turn 12.
Mhm.
They wanted to push me back to the 6th grade
Wow.
because it didn't, and it was told to my father, to pops. It didn't make sense for somebody. It don't make sense for a 17-year-old to be graduating high school. You got to be 18 years old. And my pops like his grades correct. Cause I mean, hey, I was an A and B student, even though I did act up. One thing I'm not gonna take back. I am gonna stand up for myself. I am gonna talk my shit and back it up.
You should.
And I do, and I still do that. And then I'm gonna say my cousin's name. I remember Rashonda gonna tell me one. My cousin Rashonda gonna tell me one time a child don't need to be seen, not a child don't need to be seen, not heard. And I told her one time, so, and yeah, so does an adult. So, and you're not an adult. I was talking my shit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, at a young age, she couldn't say nothing. But yeah, they wanted to put me back, and I went to Hamilton Middle, Hamilton Junior High. There, I met a cat by the name of Andreas Chambers, who they call Manute. Real good guy, but I also saw change in him years later, during my time in Hamilton. More on that. And I was just amazed because Mom's made a big deal about it. Oh, he's in junior high. And my motto was like, you know, imagine me picture me just smirking, rolling my eyes up in the air. Like, okay, yeah, I'm in junior high. Big deal. Like, yeah, I'm like, you act like that's an accomplishment. You know,
Mhm.
and that whole culture to me, it was just, how when they always say about uh when Canadian in Canada wrestling, well, I'll just put it like this. I felt when I moved to Memphis, I was in Bizarro land. I was in a totally fucking opposite. Okay, positive. Chicago is positive. It's up. Okay, it's Chicago's positive. That's up.
Mhm.
Memphis is down. I
Oh,
felt like I was more in the fucking negative zone. So I had to make family had to mom's pops, and mainly myself. Man, I felt like I had to turn the negative. I tried my best to turn a some negative situation into something positive.
wow. Which brings me to my next question. Where did you go to Hamilton High School? Uh, what year did you actually end up at Hamilton High School?
The last Monday, August of 1992. That was the start of my freshman year.
Okay. Um, Now let me ask you this: what was it like to meet Coach Anderson, and were you taking this class by the time you made it to Hamilton?
Uh, I when I saw him, I mean, he was everything as advertised. Let's put it like that. And no, I never took a class with Coach Anderson, but I heard he taught his ass off. I think
Mhm.
he was in the science field, and he was very knowledgeable in that with that subject, with the science and everything. I never had the pleasure of getting it, the honor of being in his class, but talking with him, he would speak to everybody. Didn't matter if you was underclass or not. He would speak to everybody. He was like, "Hey, all right, y'all, make sure y'all getting in the class now. Make sure y'all getting these classes." But he was a well, and I also remember the girls' basketball coach. He was my PE teacher, Robert Newman.
Robert Newman,
Them,
sir.
Robert Newman, Ted Anderson, and
Legends.
very, very respectable guys, man. And they were, them two names there. They're very well respected in the Memphis. When it came to the whatever the district name is for just say for Memphis High School basketball. And I'm gonna put it like this. I'm gonna say it like this here. the road to perdition. If you really want to establish yourself, you trying to whatever school trying to make a name for themselves. The road to perdition had to go through Hamilton.
That's true.
And to a degree, Southside.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
but Hamilton, it didn't matter if you went if you was going to Central and your basketball team was undefeated. Oh, you got to come to Hamilton. Get ready to take an ass whooping. If you was like Mitchell High, who a losing team, all of a sudden they on the winning ways. You got to take ass. We got to come to Hamilton, take an ass whooping. The boy from the boys team and the girls team. That's why I said Hamilton is the Vito Corleone of high schools.
Yeah, and that's when the football team was
And the
good.
football team was back. The football team was up and down, you know. And granted, at Hamilton, to a degree, you kept the general rule of thumb was keep your eyes and ears open and your mouth shut.
That's true.
And I stated on the preview, the communication barrier at Hamilton wasn't as fucked up as it was when I went to Southside, because at least they kept you at least all the teachers kept you in the fucking know. They kept everybody. The assistant principal, her name, I remember the assistant principal. Bless her heart, she's still living. I don't know. I think her name was Victoria or Victory. Victoria or Vicky. One. It started with a V. Johnston. It's real cool, man. And then the other assistant principal, Mr. Thacker. I heard he had passed. Now I don't know what happened now. Word was he passed away, but that was a cool dude, man. That man had my ass rolling, man. I mean, Hamilton was like I said, it was a school where they gave you an offer that you couldn't refuse,
Real talk. And was it true that even though Coach Anderson was cool when he was pissed off, was it true he did the same thing Coach Mosby did at East High, walk around with a paddle when he was in a bad mood? Was it true?
I never saw it.
You never saw it.
I never saw that.
Okay. Because
I never, but I heard, from what I heard, he did. Now, let me take that back. If he was in a bad mood with a loss, he didn't take it out on the class. He took it out on them players.
Yeah,
and the stories about them bad mood practice sessions, yeah. But as far as like with the paddle and stuff, I didn't, when I was there, I didn't see that. If he did, it was once in the blue moon.
Yeah, or it was probably before. It was probably before you came, because from what I heard from the older crowd of Hamilton, he walked around with that hoe, and some people probably afterwards. I heard, but I know for sure before your time, he definitely did walk around that hoe. But I just want to know, did you actually see it? Because Coach Mosby at East, the late Coach Mosby, shout out, rest in peace to Coach Mosby. He used to walk around East with that hoe, and this is before he became the head coach in the mid '80s. You know what I'm saying? He used to walk around with that damn paddle, and that was, hey, Coach, what's that guy from North Side? I can't even think of it. Coach Brewer. He used to do that shit. So that was like, I guess in Memphis, that was like common. That was like protocol for a good coach to walk around with the paddle. But I know for sure Ted Anderson paddled his kids. As a matter of fact, that's what got him fired in Hamilton, because they incorporated that non-corporate discipline. They took that out of most schools in the United States.
I wish they had took it out of Southside, because man, there was some. Well, there were some people. Well, with the exception of one, he had a right to. Now I respected that dude. I respected that dude, Southside. His name's Coach Matthews. He had every right to. So with Coach Matthews, yeah, he had every right to carry that paddle. Some of them other folks, some other folks they really didn't need to carry, but Coach Matthews at Southside was an exception to that rule, to me.
Yeah, and also I know Coach Anderson was the track coach as well at Hamilton, and right before you came, he won the state title not only in basketball, he won the state in track and field.
Yeah, I think he was the first to do that. You know.
Yeah, the first guy to do that, and then when they won it with what's that dude named Coach Lawson, they did it. They did a double in track and field and in basketball as well.
Right.
They went undefeated, which is the last Memphis City school, Shelby County school period to go undefeated. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, I know you had some fun times at Hamilton. You know,
Oh yes.
Did Craig Smith become Craig Mack at Hamilton? Or did it happen at Southside, or did it happen when you graduated from high school? And what I mean by Craig Mack, you know, Craig Macking on the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Because I know when you're going into the high school phase, you know what I'm saying? You trying to see you trying to spit some words to the ladies that you ain't never heard, that the ladies ain't never heard. So did you get down on the ladies in high school, or was that a little bit after? Or was that right in middle school? Please.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I think I did talk to a few girls in junior high, but really my my game, so to speak, it really kicked in my freshman year because I had little people that folks didn't know it or not, and I never told nobody. I did have a girlfriend in high school. I did have her girlfriend in freshman year of my high school, and at Hamilton. She went there, and let's see, I was 14. She was a little bit older than me, 15, something like that. I think 14, 15, something like that. Nice shit, nice looking, and like a couple of guys be saying, it's like, damn, Craig, everybody be talking about Craig be a nerd and he can't pick on the girls. He got taste for what he want. That still go to this day. I mean, you want to get with me, I'm pointing my head. You got a nice looking body. You got to have the brains to match. Because you can't be, if you got a nice looking body and brains to match, you talking like, bruh. No, no. No, I did have, I did have a girlfriend, and it was more like a little fling, not a serious girlfriend. It was more like a little fling at Hamilton. But Southside, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Southside, there were some, not gonna say any names. There were some girls in class of 95 that were attracted to me.
So did you get props from the homies with your ability to persuade the ladies?
I got some props for some, and then I had some that was hating and something like that. Hey, I wasn't I was just being me. Nerdy Craig, that Drew cut that liked to draw, have fun. Was still on Saturday mornings watching X-Men cartoons. Who the fuck didn't? I'm gonna be honest, who didn't? Even when my senior year, I watched the X-Men cartoons on Fox.
Okay.
So don't hate on me about that, so people. And I still do.
Now, was you the type of nerd that wore glasses?
Yep.
You did?
Yep. Yep. And
did you have Urkel glasses?
They weren't Urkel glasses. They weren't Urkel glasses. They were kind of like yours.
Okay, cool.
They were kind of like yours, but just they were like yours.
That was fly. That's fly. I love these glasses. These fly. That was fly glasses.
But one time a buddy of mine, God rest his soul, Aaron Rumlin, and my other partner, he's still living. He's still around. That's one of my best friends from Hamilton too. Mario, the former Mario Graham, his name Mario Smith now. They made a bet and said that I couldn't go a whole day. They said they bet I couldn't. They talking about they bet me I couldn't go a whole day without my, if I had my glasses off. It was 30 minutes. It was like lunch. It was like, Craig, we bet you. I said, Craig, I bet you can't pull no girl with them glasses on. I said, okay, I'll take them off then. Bet. I said, what's the bet? $2. I said, make it 5. So okay, took them bad boys off. Enough said. This is like 10th grade now. 11th grade, hey, I'm just, like I said, I was just being myself, and my 11th grade year was pretty rough. But I'm gonna talk about Southside in a little while because I know that's the next question. But yeah, I managed, I managed to pull just by myself, not spitting no game, nothing, just being me. I'm not, I'm not from no. Hey, I did say that my father did. He was that close to making the Cincinnati Bengals when he got out of Nam. He was that fucking close. He was the dude that Paul Brown told him in his face. He said, "I'm the guy." That he was the guy he hated. He had to cut at the last minute because he was gonna be a utility dude. But I believe I've told you that he's gonna be like utility guy.
Yeah, you told me that.
Playing whenever was needed. But he wasn't gonna overwork Pops. I do know how to play sports. I do know how to play basketball. I do know how to play football. I can run my ass off. Not now I can't, because Achilles problems. When you getting older, man, certain stuff starting, kind of starting to break down. Like I'm having left Achilles problems. I tweaked my knee about a couple weeks ago. I twisted something around. Pop that back into place, but I'm all right. No lie on that one. I did pop it back. I did kind of set that back in place. Uh, but then I didn't come from no athletically gifted family. Because I learned one thing here in Memphis. If you don't have a famous last name, not too many people don't fuck with you.
That's very true.
Or you don't get special privileges, if you will.
That's true. Very true.
So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I do. Man, supposed nice looking ones too. I ain't put no ugly ones.
I know. I know. Not just. Did you ever play sports in high school? Any kind of sports in high school, or you just a fan of sports?
I ain't never played it.
Oh, okay.
Never played. I'm a fan of it. I do know how to play some, like recreational stuff like that. Like if the guys go out play basketball, yeah, I'll play basketball. Football. Now I was told one time that I could have tried out for baseball because the way I threw a baseball one time, it was just like damn. Did you ever thought about trying? No. And Pop's like, "Why don't you try out for the school?" And I looked at him like, that time, play baseball for them. He was like, "Yeah." He said, "The team that bad?" And I looked at him like, "Yeah." He's like, "Nah." You should stick doing what you're doing.
Okay. You transitioned from Southside High School. When did you actually go from Hamilton to Southside High School?
August '93, because of the rezoning. Um, found out. Like I told you, 2 weeks before the school year was about to end. The 90, my freshman year was about to come to a close. Moms was happy that I was going to Southside. And she wanted me to go back to Hamilton. We tried our best to get me back into Hamilton, but They said, you know, with the rezoning, um, no, my aunt and my cousin here in Memphis, she was getting ready to go to Central, and we was getting ready to try to see if we can go to Central, but there was some little mumbo jumbo with that shit. I'd rather not get into.
Why?
Um, which I think Central would probably been a pretty good school for me. But then I've been having to catch the bus. You know, had to catch the bus, get off on second, probably had to catch one bus, and then get on the 35 South Parkway bus, and got off on South Parkway in McMillan and walked down. So, and that was, and like I said, that was some, you know, not only about that, there was also some internal mumbo jumbo with that issue there. Transition from Southside, where I said let's put it like this: I left Vito Corleone of Hamilton, Vito Corleone to be with the Goodfellas.
Wow.
And it wasn't nothing good about it.
Did you have any friends at Southside? Is my question.
I did. And they migrated on the, you know, like, well, let's back up a little bit. With Hamilton, Andreas, he and I, we kind of fell out. I don't know what it was. I guess Andreas started, you know, he wanted to be around the basketball players a little bit or whatever. And it pissed me off. You know, he pissed me off one time all through that year too, because it was just like, you know what, dude, what I do to you, man, you know. He was being pretty short with me on some things and stuff like that and whatnot. You know, I was like, okay, forget it. So I mean, we had a little falling out. You know, he just kind of kept. We went from being pretty cool to, you know, but years later we caught back up. He's doing good now. I think he works with the damn, I forgot where he worked at. He does something with the school system now, and you know, he has a daughter and stuff. He has his daughter stuff like that who's preteen. If she's not a teenager already, we chatted up a little bit, you know, and kind of, you know, I never brought it up, but just kind of when we had that last little lengthy conversation, man, and just kind of just listening to him, I just guess it was just a way of him apologizing for some of the fuckery he did, you know, he had did to me at that time, you know. It's just a way, you know, and I'm not preaching no religion here. You know, they say God has a way of having people make amends with you without them bringing up the issue.
Yeah. That's true.
You know, and he did it his own. In a way, he did it his own way. You know, I mean, he's on Facebook most of the time. I don't talk to him on a regular because, you know, working man. I think he working with his job, trying to take care of his daughter and stuff like that, and trying to keep his sanity. Cat by the name of Terrence Jacobs. I used to call that man I used to say that man you look like Clarence Witherspoon. Remember that name? Because he played like that man. In basketball, he played like Clarence Witherspoon. For him to be skinny, the man was a skinny ass power forward, man. That man elbowed the hell out your ass, man. Like, damn.
You said this nigga looked like the Penny Barkley, as they call Philadelphia.
Yeah, but see, Terrence is skinny, but Jake, he calls his name his Terrence Grado, but he coaches basketball, and I think he has two sons that plays basketball too.
Wow.
So I mean, and I ran into him. Now shit, I ran into Terrence like, 5 years ago, 2014. because he said he was thinking about, he still was doing the coaching thing. He was gonna see him doing that full time. Because reading between the lines, he want to go somewhere bigger so he can be an assistant, so he can, get the, basically get the craft down, pat what to do, what not to do, how to recruit, who to recruit, what to say, and stuff like that. So, you know, them two dudes I'm proud of, man. I ain't never had no fallout issue with Terrence though. What up, Terrence Jake? But yeah, I'm proud of dudes, man. So, but yeah, the rest of my friends I had when they went to Hamilton, my boy Chad Rogers, that's my guy. Love him dearly. He like I said on the preview, he pulled a Benedict Donald on my ass, and
Mhm.
let's see, my boy Mario, he went there, and he had to transfer, I think, to I still keep forgetting. I don't know if either Sheffield or Wooddale, one of them schools. He had to transfer because his mom had took a job, and they was gonna pay her they was gonna pay her a nice little penny because she had got it for this new position. So, but she had to move close to there, so he had to go to school out there, and then it was just me, Aaron, and Chad. And them two niggas there, man, I don't know what Aaron's problem was. He was, he wanted to keep his distance. Then Chad, he guess just being Chad, like I said, when getting over there to South Side, man, you really had to, like I said, the rule applied to Hamilton, eyes, ears open, and mouth shut. That applied to South Side too, to a higher degree. You had to get in where you fit in, or as I happily put it, in order for you to get past, you had to kiss ass.
That's fun.
I ain't saying Chad kissed some ass now, because no. That's one thing I can say vouch for him on. For us real niggas, we ain't never had to kiss nobody's ass. But that's how it was with certain people when I was going to Southside. In order for you to get past, you had to kiss some ass. You know, uh, it was pretty. The Southside was just a whole different breed of cat. It was just more like it's just like I would say it was like the inmates running the asylum. It had that strict feel to it. Like you couldn't do this, couldn't do that. And it's it was real. It was like a real learning experience for me, man. Like I said, if you didn't, like if you didn't grow up with anybody, or if you didn't fuck somebody's sister there, or in case if you want, or you're a female, if you didn't fuck somebody's brother, they didn't want to fuck with you. You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't like that. And a lot of people thought that I was, some people thought I was weird and corny, and stuff like that, or and just a weird dude to be around and shit like that. Hey, I didn't care what people thought of me.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't put on this earth to be, to care what people think. I was put on this work, and I was put on this earth to try to, to do my best to make the best out of life and enjoy it while I'm here.
Same here. Definitely same here. Uh, did you go to any of the sporting events like football, basketball, track and field? Did you go to any of the sporting events over there at? I'm pretty sure with Hamilton. Hamilton goes without saying because you can't be a part of. You can't go to that school without being a part of those events for sure. So, but with Southside, did you actually go to some of the events? 'Cause I remember you telling me about a few of those teams out there, but did you actually go to some of the sporting events out there?
At my time, I went to one game,
Right.
one basketball game. That's it.
And that's what East.
That was the year when East kicked our ass 4 times in one season. I went to the one when East came to us when we got cheated. So
this was in 95 or 96?
95. Oh God, 96 team was terrible.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because I know before East finally won the state title in '96, they went in '95 and got put out in the semifinals. Because from my understanding, East was like the only team out of Memphis to actually make the state tournament in 3A. Because the year before, Bolton in their first year, I think it was their first year in 3A, they made the state tournament and lost in the semifinals. The East made it with them, and East got put out in the first round. So yeah, well yeah, man. So y'all lost to them hoes 4 times in the season. Shit.
Yeah,
So you
that
said,
man, that hey, and in that year, really to me, that was a special year, man. Fucking Central East. Central was a badass team too. Cause I
oh,
told you
Central.
that's cause I told you that story. Central came to us. Central came to us and whooped us by 23 points. We went to Central and whooped their ass by 30, by 33.
Oh, that's one thing. Central. You ain't never got to worry about Central not having a basketball team. Because I done seen Central get some rude awakenings
Yeah,
over the years.
cause shout out my cousin Stacy Brown. She could talk about some. She said, "Yeah, y'all school came to our school and just beat us 90-57." She said, "I left before the game was even over." I'm like, "Wow."
Yeah, boys. Because I remember one year, in recent years, Central had like a 15 loss team, and they made it all the way to the state championship and lost to East.
Mm-hmm.
This is when uh, the oldest Lawson kid, KJ, was at East uh, way before Penny coached East or whatnot. You know, they won the state title with I forgot what kid, but he came to Memphis and then he went to the University of Alabama and didn't get no playing time. But that's when he was Nick King. You know, Nick King was just on like a pot of neck bones in that state tournament. And Keelan Lawson's son was playing for East because they were living out of East, and then he finally brought Keelan Jr., KJ, and Dedrick Lawson, uh, which he should have sit his ass down, but I'll give him to that on another show. He brought both was there, and that's when Hamilton started getting good, and you know the story on that. And so,
Yeah.
like, yeah, Central's always been good in basketball. That's one thing. If they suck in football, they're good in basketball. They suck in both basketball and football, which is very rare. They're good in track because they
Mm-hmm.
have the most state track. They have the most state championships in terms of public schools in the state of Tennessee. As far as public schools, they have the most state track championships. Brentwood Academy actually has the most track and field titles, which explains why their football team was so good over those years. You know, they go along with recruiting a couple of black kids out of the hood, out of South Nashville, but we digress with that. But this is your story, and I ain't gonna
Yeah.
switch it. But but moving along to your 1996 year, man, was you one of those kids, you know, when it was your senior year? Was you like ready to get out of high school? I mean, was you truly ready to get out of high school? Or you were just talking shit like most kids and be like, man, I can't wait to get out of high school. Was you one of those kids, or which kid were you? Was you the one that was truly ready to get out of high school, or was you the one that was popping those gums and saying shit? I can't wait to get out of high school.
I wasn't pop my guns, but I was ready like a motherfucker to get my senior year over with. Because I've gone on record and said that I felt my senior year in 95, 96. Not a knock on my classmates or nothing. I love them and respect them, but they treated that senior year like it was a fucking job. We weren't getting paid for it. I could see if we was getting paid to go to school, yeah, but we weren't getting paid for it. And then times was changing. And then I think it was around about the time Tupac. I think it was like what, late '95 or something like that, or early '95. Tupac had just signed with Death Row Records, which was no. I think it was early night. I think it was somewhere in '96. Tupac had signed with Death Row Records.
He signed with Death Row in late '94, 1995, right around that time. We don't.
Yeah, late '95, because Me Against the World was on his old label, which I think he should have stuck with them. One of his best albums, in my opinion.
Well, start in that particular situation. Tommy Boy basically dropped him because that's why he went to jail, because he didn't have enough money to defend himself, and Tommy Boy Records was basically fucking him out of his money because he wouldn't have went to jail had he had proper criminal defense. Yes, he made some of his best albums with Tommy Boy, but the problem was the record label was manipulating Pac, which one of the reasons why he had to sign with Death Row. It wasn't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. They came with the bag and they basically bailed him out, got him out of jail pretty much. So, yeah, that was pretty much the story on that. But tell me about your year in high school.
Okay, but I got to back up on something, man. I forgot to give props to somebody. When you said about me, did I have any friends in Southside? Yes. When I told you about the other ones, shout out to a young lady by the name of Lakeisha. I met her in my junior year. Hold on. I met her in my junior year, and believe me, bro, when I saw her, I thought she was stuck up like a motherfucker. I thought she was. But and getting to know her, I'm like, okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. She like, and she was a majorette, but she was a majorette that liked the same things I liked it.
Wow.
Sega Genesis, she was a Sonic the Hedgehog nut. And she played her Sega Genesis and stuff like that, and Saturday morning cartoons and the cereal and stuff like that. Yeah, man, Keisha and I have been cool since '94, man, and I thought she was just she was stuck up, but she turned out to be the sweetest. She's turned out to be the sweetest girl now to the sweetest woman I ever met.
That's how it happens sometimes.
Man, and we still cool. And then when I had what was this? I walked to now, man, it's a true story here. She can verify this. Last day of school. Well, no. I remember our last day of school was about to fucking rain. Okay. It was hot. It was about to fucking rain. And in early May, it was hot. Matt, no. It was the day after. Okay, now I remember. Okay. She was walking by herself. Okay. Now, at this time, before, all this sexual predating had really has gotten as hot as it was. It was around then. But at that time, you had these guys running around, and you had these guys just driving around in their Bonnevilles on their little nice little rims and shit. These grown ass adults coming around driving to school trying to entice teenage girls and shit. Okay. So last day of school, Keisha was supposed to be walking home with somebody, but they didn't come. And she was like, well, she like, and I asked her, said, so, and my house, all I had to do was go through the cut through Philsar Apartments and everything, and I was at the house, okay. But sometimes I didn't do that. I always took my time coming home. So part of me, I didn't feel cool for Keisha to walk home by herself, okay, because these motherfuckers out. It was hot, and it was hotter. It was hotter. It was hotter. You know, like I said, these motherfucking sexual predators and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it was pretty hot. So I said, "Well, Keisha, I'll walk you home." Because I told her, I said, I don't feel too cool letting you walk by yourself and then something happened to you. You know, walked home with her. We talked for a minute and just talked. So, and yeah, I didn't walk her halfway home. I just walked her to a street and then I walked back. And went from where she lived, and I walked back from where she lived to McMillan. Uh,
Right.
I just bust out and just popped up and said, and I bit my lip. I was just like, I said, hey, Keish. I said, hey, you mind if I get your phone number? And I was just like, and I just kind of turned around. I was like, this motherfucker, she gonna tell you no, bruh. When I heard that rip, I was like, oh shit. I said, she actually finna do it. And that's what I said in my mind. I was like, oh shit. Like, you remember that scene in the wood when they was making bets about how many phone numbers they can get?
Yep.
Okay, now I ain't do that with none of my with none of my friends, because they was like, because a couple of them saw me. They said, dude, was you? It was like, Big Aaron, he walked, it was him and another, it was somebody else said, Craig, who's you walking with? I said, I just walked Keisha home, man. It was like, and he was like, man, I don't see, he said, I don't see what the purpose was you walking her home for and you didn't get her number. I said, what's this? He's like, God, get the fuck out of here. I said, yes. I said, yeah. And I said, give me that back. That's mine, dog. So I put it in the pocket, man. Hey, she been having that phone number ever since, man. And I went, and hey, I mean, wish me and her had been boyfriend and girlfriend in high school, but now since we get to talk about 95, senior business year of 95, 96, she got with she got with some she got with some she got with some she got with some cat whose name I'm not gonna mention.
Yeah.
But we were still cool. But we still cool all the years, man. She came up Pop's funeral. She gave me a hug and stuff like that, and talked for a minute. And I told her, I said, yeah. So she was about to go. I said, yeah. I said, yeah. Let me go back here. I said, yeah. I'm going back. When we talked for a minute when my pop's funeral was over and stuff. And that was big of her and her mom to come out and pay their respect to him. And Pops liked her. Cause when he first saw her, he was like, "Go give it up." And I think this was back like 90. This was like 4 years after when he first saw her. He was like, "When you gonna give it up?" I said, "Give her who?" What's her name? Keisha. I said, "I don't know if she got a boyfriend or not." He said, "Well, you ain't got nobody. Well, what you waiting on?" I said, "Pop, maybe she got a boy. I don't know her situation." He said, "Damn, boy, big dummy." As he called me, that's when I was like I said, it was back like 2099, 2000. He was like, "Damn, boy." He said, "You gonna be mad as hell when she messed around and got somebody." But anyway, back to senior business year 95, 96. I was just really glad to get it over with. And the communication barrier, and this can be, and I was talking about this with another schoolmate of mine. They agreed. They graduated somebody graduated someone that graduated a year after I did. They agree with me on that aspect. The communication barrier Southside was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know in 11th grade when you took algebra one, you took geometry. I didn't find out till later, till they let us, me and another guy by the name of Quasi, shout out to him, who's teaching in Indiana right now, who's coaching in Indiana right now. Uh, they let us go ahead and take geometry with algebra two, because said we didn't know it, then, and we both said we didn't know nothing about it. But man, it was just senior dues, senior dues. Gotta make sure you have money for the prom. You gotta do this and all this, and all that. Then they was pressuring us to do this. What's that shit? Uh, the Jostens thing. Remember Jostens?
The Jostens, I'm not familiar with that.
Yo,
I'm saying I'm not familiar with it. Continue.
you said what now?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, Jostens. They were these people that was handling all that, like the senior stuff, like with the graduation announcements and all that other little stuff.
Okay.
Uh, Stuff like that. But some people they had they. I'm taking all my senior years at Hampton House, photography and all that shit. You know, and it was just more. Man, that was my senior year, man. Like I said, it wasn't as memorable as my junior year. I had fun in my junior year. My senior year, I didn't really have any fun at all. Like they was pressing us about like when is the school? I've never seen it. You tell me off the top of your bat, Jimmy. Name the last high school that you know that wanted to be so fucking dedicated about the ACT, about us taking the ACT test. True enough, it was a graduation requirement.
I don't recall my school being passionate about that. I could be wrong, but I don't recall this. I mean,
Okay.
only school I know that was passionate about that was Central. Uh,
Oh hell
Central
yeah,
was
Central.
in White Station. They were passionate about that. But as far as Memphis City Schools, most of them are like they give two craps about you. Unless you're a star basketball player, a star football player, that'd be a little different. But for the most part, the general kid, man, no fucks was given. So
You ain't lying. Like that dude said in the video. You ain't never lying. Uh, yeah, they were so gung ho about us taking the ACT. And everybody was like, well, why we got to take the ACT again when we already took it in 11th grade? And this is out of one of the teachers' mouth said, well, as far as we concerned, y'all didn't take it in 11th grade. Like, oh, okay. And the geometry teacher I told you about, Bobby White, he was, like I said, he was an asshole. He gonna tell me. I remember he told me something about some, talking about Craig, well, you need to take the ACT workshop because you look like you look like you ain't gonna pass it. I'm like, I passed it the last time I took it. I had no score to take it when he told me that. He said, what was the score? I said it was 17. I had a 17. I had a 17, but then on this one, I had I believe I could say it was around between 20 to 20. I had a 20 between 25 to 28 on the ACT.
yeah, if it was a 25 or 28 most, and you matched it up at that time, you just needed a 2.5 uh, from most schools.
Yeah, GPA. Yeah, I had a 25. I had a 25 on the ACT, and my GPA at the time was 3.1.
3.1. So yeah.
So I mean, I was well within. I was within the minimum. So I mean, so why would I need to study for it for? And I'm like, I told him, go ahead, Jimmy.
You was well above the minimum. 25, that gets you into places like Duke, Northwestern. Most private schools would send you an offer. I mean, or should. Vanderbilt. I mean, most schools
I got
give
offer
you
from Arkansas State.
Arkansas State. Not I said that's not bad at all. Could have been better, but not bad. I would have took it over, but yeah, you had a hell of a fucking ACT score. I mean, and really, ACT is not about passing. It's just about making this. You know, it's really not about passing. It's trying to go as high as you can. You know, but anything over a 20 is like good. 25 is hella good. You know, so you doing the damn thing on that mother. Please continue, sir.
Yeah. So like I said, but we're refreshed about Bobby White. He was my geometry teacher. He was the one that pops at the G. He was the one that pops at the G check. He had the G check one time, and it was just all around ass. And just make a long story short, he was all around asshole. He gave no fucks. He didn't give a fuck about you. If he was disrespecting you, disrespecting your parent or whatnot, you know, he just gave a fuck about himself.
Uh,
And he looked at me crazy when I told him. I was like, I said, Mr. White, why I need to study for the ACT when the questions are the same but just worded.
I feel you. I feel you.
So when he found out I made a 25, he couldn't say shit.
Ouch! You
Huh?
made him. You made him your whole home.
Yeah, I made him. Yeah, he couldn't say shit. Um, and really, man, it was just I was glad to get it from a personal point of view. Now I can say it now. I was glad to get the fuck on down, cause you know I wanted to be trying to focus on being finally being Craig L. Smith II, not handicapped.
I feel you.
On that, because I felt my senior year, man. I was I was I was still being myself, but the hand you know the handcuffs were still one of the handcuffs was still on me at the time. I couldn't I couldn't just come out and I couldn't do what I need to do. Home life was probably finally getting the way it needed to be, away from the school, stuff like that. Hey, I didn't have too many friends come over my house or whatnot. I didn't mingle around. Like I said, my only friends I kicked it with was Aaron and Mario, but they were working. They had jobs just like I did. You know, I didn't have people coming over. You know, like on a regular to visit and stuff like that. I didn't have a girlfriend. I didn't even have a girlfriend in my sophomore year. Um,
Senior.
yeah, my senior. I was about to say sophomore year. I didn't have a girlfriend in my senior year. Nothing like that. And pops. That was about the time back in '95 in my junior year. I didn't state this on Craig Smith Senior. Somebody tried to kill him by slipping a Mickey in one of his drinks. So, and they had to, and they said it almost exploded his heart. So they had to hurry up, rush to the hospital, tone his heart rate down and get all them whatever it was in his system. And said that it was and when they pumped it out what it was out of his heart, they said it was pills, but he think it was somebody put some cocaine in his drink.
Yeah.
You know. But that was the time he had quit drinking. He was getting he was finally getting his shit together. He was about to start establishing his own little paint thing on his own. So he was about to start to plant the seeds of Smith painting,
Yeah.
and get himself going. So I mean, he started being the cool, he started being the cool pops even more. I mean, like on senior dish day, he he kind of he was in the know about it too. He was like, yeah, I saw you rolling. He said, I saw you rolling down the street uh yesterday, because he waited till Mars had left. I was like, huh? He said it was senior dish day, wasn't it? I said, yeah. He said, okay. He said, yeah. He said, I know about He said he went one senior dish day. Sometime I did this school, but I'm like, damn. So
Yeah, we were crunk on our senior skit day. Yeah, yeah. That was like the time of our life. We had a hell of a time. Did you go on the senior trip?
what senior trip?
Y'all didn't have a senior trip in high school?
Again, what senior trip?
Ah, hell no. I can say I didn't go on mine personally.
Hell, well, if you want to count as an all class trip to Opryland as a senior trip, because it was like all freshmen, it was freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and it was like 9 through 12. We went to 9 through 12. We went to Opryland. But again, Jimmy, what senior trip? Shit, to my knowledge, we didn't have a senior trip.
I didn't go on my senior trip, but we did have a senior trip. I think we went to like somewhere in Florida, but I didn't go personally. I'm speaking for myself personally. I didn't go, but that I know that they had a I know that they had a senior trip. So I'm shocked.
But if we did, it probably was one of them low key ones that folks them probably didn't want to know about. Now I know on senior dish day they wanted to pick us apart, which was fucking stupid. How the fuck you gonna senior dish day, which means we out of your presence? Fuck you gonna pick us apart for to go to for senior dish day?
Yeah, that was
They picked, I forgot what park it was, but then we went over there to Glenview Park off of Macklemore.
yeah, that was his brother's.
Huh?
This dumb as shit.
No, it's something we chose that on our own. The park that they chose for us was like I think it was somewhere close to the school.
Now that was extra. Wow.
It was it was one of the parks. I forgot which one it was, but everybody, like all the seniors that was ditching, they was like, well, wait, where? Because man, some of us we up here at Martin Luther King. They had some of us at Martin Luther King Park, and then some of them was crazy enough to go to the park. Some of them was crazy enough to go to the park they picked. But man, me, like I said, me, myself, Quasi, and 4 other guys, along with some of the folks from class of '97, we just said, you know what, fuck it, we finna go to. And some folks from class of '97 cut with ditched with us. So we just said, fuck it, let's go over to Glenview.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, what? Yeah. And they was telling us, you're talking about over there off of Mac. They was like, oh yeah, we know what you're talking about. So I didn't suggest it but it was somebody else that suggested it. It was like, cool. So, and that's where I had my first beer.
Mm-hmm.
I had a straight up Coors. That was my first beer. So we didn't have no senior trip, not to my knowledge. Hell, I didn't even go to my senior prom.
Ouch. And what was your reason for that?
Just didn't want to go. 1, didn't want to go, and 2, I didn't have a date.
Well, I personally didn't have a senior date. I mean, a prom date. But I pretty much took everybody prom date, if you know what I mean.
I get you told that story.
Yeah, when I came up with it, everybody prom date was mine. Yeah. Yeah, I'm shocked. I still get shocked when I know you told me this story before, but I'm kind of shocked because I forget osmosis, but now that you brought it back to my memory, I'm like, I'm still shocked.
Yeah, I didn't go. Because everybody, and then was looking at everybody's pictures. Everybody was just all doing it up and shit like that. Had limos, was coming out with nice things and shit like that. They was like, Craig, you ain't go? Nope. Why? I ain't had no date. Craig, you still? I didn't have no date, and if even I did, yeah, I said even and I said and if even I did plan on going, I wasn't gonna go. So I didn't go. I'm not. I didn't go. And then come to find out later, Quasi brought two ladies from the class of '98. When they found out at the last minute I didn't have a prom date, that I could have took them. I'm like, motherfucker. And then Quasi said, "See there, but you could have took both of them to the prom."
Wow.
You know, and then like a lot of people, and really, most folk people think that out back then in my senior year, they thought I was a square. I'm gonna say it, they thought I was a square ass nigga. Nah, I wasn't square. I was fully aware. I'll be fully aware with a lot of. I was fully aware with what guy was messing with what girl and shit like that. Who was getting mistreated and who was getting disrespected and stuff like that. I was fully aware of what the fuck was going on.
Mm-hmm.
With some folks, but nah, I ain't. I ain't go to my prom, and I was just glad that to get my senior year over with. You know, and just get ready to move on. And as Pops told me when I graduated, the fun begins
Right.
after you graduate. The real fun begins when you graduate.
I totally agree with that. He said some real shit there. If he didn't say nothing else real, he
Hmm.
said some real shit there. Uh, with your graduation, uh, how was your graduation in high school?
Oh, it was good, and they tried to handicap everybody's parents. Try to tell them, try to keep quiet, like when the name is called, hold your applause, hold your applause till after all the graduates is called and shit like that.
You hear it,
Do you think that worked well there? Nope.
and you can't blame them. How you gonna tell somebody to stop somebody from being excited for your child's biggest day? If not, one of their biggest days of their lives. I mean, that's some fuck shit on the end of Southside High School. Man. That was some real fuck shit. So,
Yep.
what did you go straight into the workforce graduating, or did you go to college, or did you go to the military immediately after? Which one did you do?
Well, I was already in the workforce at 16 because I was working in commercial appeal on Saturday mornings.
Me too. Same.
Okay, and that's when it was just minimum wage was 4.25 an hour. That's when I was working in. I was working there at 16 years old, so I was already in it partially. I didn't fully get into the workforce till I started working UPS when I turned 18,
Right.
and I joined the military. Well, I was sworn in on June 13th, 1997, with the Army National Guard. So I had to go through that whole rigmarole with the paperwork and stuff like that. I signed up. Yeah, I signed up with them. I think back in somewhere late November. No, December, December '96. So, and that's when I signed up with being with the guard and was sworn in June 13th. So did my little, the guard. Your 2 weeks a month, 2 weeks a year, 1 weekend a month. That's what I did. And originally, moms they both wanted me to go to the Air Force, and I thought about going to Marines. Pops like, hell no, they'll fuck your spirit up, they'll fuck your demeanor up. No, don't do it. And he said with the Navy, he said you already know the Navy. I would say because you're gonna be in the water 90% of the time, and he can't swim. So, and then with regular, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't have the discipline to go regular army.
Mm-hmm.
I was more comfortable with the being in National Guard. That way I could be home, just doing things I like to do. Then at the time I was doing the college thing too, because I enrolled at Southwest. Now, well, it was Shelby State then, but it's now Southwest now. And when I said that Arkansas State had sent me an offer, I couldn't take it because I didn't have no way to get there. Didn't have no way to get there. And then I thought about it, I was like, okay, well, what I'm gonna do for money? You know, I got called moms and pops all the time, tell them to send me some money, this and that. Hey, what I'm gonna do? You know. So I decided to stick. So I decided to stick around, and I went to Southwest. Was taking up. I was trying to take up something with the arts and stuff like that, with my art and everything. And that worked out. That worked out pretty well. And I was about to start my second year at Southwest. That's when I got the call up to go to basic training. That motherfucker.
Have you ever been back to Chicago since you left as a child?
Yeah, 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
20 years ago for Thanksgiving, for the Thanksgiving holiday.
I know you wanted to stay.
Matter of fact, I went back twice. That was the last time I went. Uh, 2 years after I moved to Memphis, I went up there.
Okay.
So I have been back twice ever since I've been back in the South. I would love to go back. Yes, I would love to go back again. That's in the plan. I would love to go back again.
Yeah, most definitely. Outs. What all the cities you actually been to? Uh, where all you traveled to?
Hmm. As far as living or just traveling, just to visit.
Yeah, just traveling, just to visit.
I just went to St. Louis. I didn't do too much traveling. I mean, if you want to count the military, just like I was
That
stationed.
counts.
Okay, yeah, I was. When we got mobile, well, my unit got mobilized in 2002. They sent us to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, right next to Fayetteville.
Mm-hmm.
Then they sent us to Virginia. I was sent to Virginia. My basic training, I was at Fort Sill. I was glad to hurt out, man. I was so glad to get the fuck away from up there.
Mm-hmm.
The money was good. The money was good, man, but damn. Shit.
I feel you. So you never went out of the country uh, that you was in the military, or
No, never. Never.
Okay, I was just wondering about that. I was just wondering about that. What made you go to FedEx? Uh, what made you actually decide to work at FedEx? Was it because of your father, or you just made a clear and cut decision to just go there?
It wasn't. Everybody thought it was cause of pops, which I'm gonna go ahead and debunk that rumor. No, it wasn't. I had, you know, um, I think I got kind of got tired of.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna put it like this. I left Neiman Marcus to go to Walmart.
Uh-huh.
As I always use the reference, I always compare when the people be telling me, I ain't nothing like my pops. I said, well, comparing me to pops is like comparing Neiman Marcus to Walmart. Okay. I left UPS, which is Neiman Marcus, to go to there. And what led to that decision, there was a lot of fuckery that was going on at UPS at the time I was tired of. So I had my hopes up and was bent on leaving. I was hell bent on leaving there. And I ain't gonna forget what my partner Marcus Rogers told me. Shout out to him. That's one of my good friends too. He said, Craig, well, he said, man, Fed ain't the same as UPS. You gonna see it. Said you ain't gonna be used right at Fed. Like they ain't gonna work you right at FedEx like we do, like did here at UPS. No, he was right. I mean, I've had longevity there, 14 years. I had from 2001 to 15, 14 years. But it was. I was just like I said, I was just tired of the fuckery and some lot of bullshit that was going on at the time there at UPS, man. And it and the way I had left, as some people tell it, it left a bad taste in everybody's mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like fuck. He just got on down. He just worked a couple hours and then just left early, left on home, got the fuck on down. Like what the fuck, it left a bad taste in his mouth. And really, it was also a precursor to that when I saw a gentleman by the name of Courtney Stage get fired.
Wow.
And I was just like, whoa. I ain't never seen. I ain't, and I was just. I just came home just thinking about it. I had to had to stop and get a 6-pack of beer at the time. And Pops, I ain't never seen you drink like that. I said, man, I saw one of my coworkers get fired today. I'm like, for what? Says it, and I ain't gonna tell him in detail. I ain't tell him to in detail. I said, Popeye said it's just some bullshit, man. So he's like, okay. So just something, but it was just fuckery. That's why I left UPS for FedEx, and the way as many people told it, it left a bad. Some folks told it. I left. Some people were glad that I was gone. I know who they were, so fuck them. Uh, because they still feel some type of way about me then, and still feel some type of way about me now. So fuck them. Um, most of them were glad to be gone, and others just like, damn, some of them were pissed off. So we're pissed off of that the way I left. So, but my boy Marcus was right about with Fed.
Is there any last thing you want to say to the people uh,
Oh,
before
you
we
had some
wrap?
more questions?
I mean, pretty much most of the things about your life story is pretty much cut and dry. You know what I'm saying? So you can pretty much go through our shows to know about that. But a lot of the stuff that was mentioned here in the 2 hours plus, pretty much we did know. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I started from Chicago into your high school days, because a lot of your high school, your childhood years to the beginning of FedEx, a lot of people don't know. You know, because I know about the incident that you had with your boy here and there and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And then we pretty much know a lot about your your father for the most part. Certain things I'm not going to even share off air for obvious reasons, on air
Mm-hmm.
for obvious reasons. Uh, but for the most part, you know, this, you know, mostly of what you're talking about, nobody really knows. Like your your adulthood is pretty much, hey, people know about that. We just didn't know your childhood, so that's the
Right.
reason why I was asking things the way they are, because you know A lot of people just don't know about your childhood. A lot of people just don't know about how you lived in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it's a lot of shit out there that people don't know about me personally. And for me, for that matter, because I'm very private when I talk about my family. For the most part,
Yeah.
I'm hella private. You know, so we have a lot in common. You know, uh, we definitely have a lot in common. But um, nevertheless, man, is there anything else you wanted the people to know about you?
Whereas I was told one time I can be my own worst enemy. That's a lie. I can be my own best friend sometimes.
Mhm.
Um, Let me clear up some misconceptions. Let me clear up some year-long misconceptions about me and get this out the way. It's been, there's still, matter of fact, let me address some people that still, I'm going to just go ahead and make a statement in general, clear up a lot of things. What you just heard in this interview is what Jimmy just explained. Well, what it is Jimmy don't have to explain nothing to you. Well, he's not explaining, he's giving you excuse. It's what Jimmy just told everybody. Okay. And my disclaimer, if you want to go back and listen to the disclaimer, is everything. I felt it was uncensored, uncut, and whatnot, and I did not sugarcoat anybody. I sugarcoat what I had to say about people. I didn't. I didn't. I didn't. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and say this right here. I think the best teacher that I had at Southside, bar none, other than my English teacher, her name was Miss Esley, a cat by the name of Van Snyder, hands down. Because dude, he motivated because he knew my grades slipped. That man said, "Craig, hey, you need to tighten up on your grades now." You got to pick it up, and hey, picked it up. He taught U.S. history, and his way of teaching U.S. history was fucking original. It's just like he told us stuff that, put it like this: most of these the school systems back then wanted to teach the stuff that they want us to know. Van said, "Fuck that shit. I'm gonna teach my students what I want them to know and what they really need to know." We all, like, for example, we all know Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. He just set foot on America. America was discovered by an Italian by the name of America Vespucci and was named after him. Okay, that's a prime example. And that was something I didn't know about until I went home one day and looked it up in the first ever internet called the World Book Encyclopedia,
Mhm.
which we had at home, and looked it up, and it was true.
Mhm.
You know, I also, a lot of people still. I've never came clear about, my relationships and stuff. Here's the real thing. Why should I? Um, See, I'm gonna put a plug in. Go on Jimmy J Smooth's YouTube page and look and listen to Craig Tells All. That's how my last relationship went. I didn't have, hey, I talked to women, I talked to girls in high school, but I never didn't have any serious relationship with them, or anything like that. So there was some that I wanted to with, but hey, they had they had their star picks they wanted to be with, or as I aptly say, hey, there's the hot major red dating the football there again. I wasn't that person. I was just Craig Leonard Smith II, the guy that went home, did his homework, minded his business, and when at times was left alone. I didn't, like I said, I didn't have too many friends to come by and visit, or call or talk or nothing. And it was to a point where it had, you know, my moms and pops was kind of questioning about that. They was talking among themselves about it. I'm not a bad person, contrary to what people think. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and clear this, go ahead and get to the point, clear up the misconception. I'm not a bad person. Like I said, I'm not my own worst enemy. I can be I can be my own best friend. My adult life now, I do have friends. I still some of the ones who I mentioned in here. Mario, Ke- Keisha, or the Keish, as I call her, and a few other people. This cat that I'm talking to, this cat that's hosting his podcast right now is also one. My boy Trey Murphy, he's another one. Guy by the name of Adrian Williams, shout out to him. He's another one. He and I, we got to be friends in a short time. One of his friends was one of my friends as well. Robert Fleming, God rest his soul. I do have a lot of friends now. I get jealous now. Here's something what Jimmy failed to ask, and I'm gonna go ahead and clear this up now. Yes, I can be a very jealous. I can be a jealous person. I'm jealous of people that think that are well off. I don't like to be around people that got, you know, the big house, big house and nice things. Those people like that make me uncomfortable to be around because it reflects on like, okay, then you just make me feel uncomfortable. Why I'm disliked by some people, I don't know, but I can give you my opinion as to why they don't they have and they don't think the way I think. I use a lot of common sense. Some people have a fucked up jaded opinion. And, granted, some other friends, I mean, they're really cool. Not the ones that I name. Not the ones that I name. Some of them are really cool. My other friends, some of them are cool, but they can use a lot of work about themselves. You know, some of them have a fucked up way of thinking. Like I was told by one, they don't think the same way I do, or because their way of thinking makes a little bit more sense than mine. Okay, I respect that. But when you attribute to people like that, you gotta look at how the way they were raised. And to think that they're when they get it from childhood, and they say when you get relinquish your childish ways when you progress to adulthood, you think that they would know any fucking better, and it's sad that they don't, and they have no excuse. I have no excuse for being what I am. I'm normal. Hey, like right now, I'm struggling right now. Okay, I'm not going to get into detail about that. I don't get on social media airing um and whatever and talk about this and about that. What's going on with me. But the reason why people, I think the reason why people don't like me is because I'm a different breed. I'm a different breed of cat. Some people think that I'm gay. I'm not gay because I'm gonna be frank. I get about as much pussy from a woman as every other man does, and that's facts. I've gotten more pussy than they probably have in their damn lifetime. That's facts. I'm not bragging. Just saying for I'm not gay. People come people say, Craig, you spoiled. I said it first from the beginning. I'm not spoiled. If I was spoiled, then I've been to have a whole lot of shit. I'm not a spoiled ass child. I'm not pampered. I'm not coddled. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I don't like street niggas. Period. Uh, and, you know, and I have, hey, a lot of people, and we're not, and I'm not, I will admit, I'm not perfect. Hell, we're all not perfect. Because if we weren't perfect, we wouldn't be fucking up. We wouldn't be struggling. So I just continue to be me, and hey, person don't like me because some people could think I'm hard to get. I'm tough. I'm tough to get along with. I'm tough to get along with when you don't fucking listen to me. I make it my business to be difficult to get along with when you don't want to listen to me. And I will admit that. You know, I'm not being an asshole. I've never have been an asshole, but that's how I am. If you don't want to see shit the way I gotta see, I ain't. Well, you know, I'm gonna be. I'll be very difficult and I'll be very difficult and tough to get along with. That's how I am. I'm not arrogant. Part of me is, but I back it up. You know, I had a friend of mine tell me, you know, you act so arrogant, ain't got shit to show for it. Okay, the people that ain't got shit to show for nothing. I said, what? And people that still got shit to show for stuff are the most arrogant ones too. So that's a catch-22. Um, what else I gotta say here? So I don't want it being. Um, lately I've been tired of people still having some little fucked up things to say about me and about what they know and don't know. See, they were programmed by my father to believe what they want to believe without hearing the truth from yours truly. And it's more their fault. And they should know better. I've had some opinions about some of Pop's friends. Some of them are cool, but the others, they ain't about shit. Or
Uh-huh.
as moms like to call them, his flunkies. And ain't seen none of his flunkies ever since he passed away, Jamie. Ain't that some shit? You know, some of them motherfuckers need to come to his funeral. So they really weren't they really weren't his friends. They really weren't none of his friends, but weren't some of his friends to begin with. Uh, I'm not, like I say, I can be a little bit arrogant at times. I'm not cocky. Um, I am, but what pisses me off the most is some people don't see the other side of me. I am a selfless person. I will, like I explained to you about what I did for the guy, for the kid in my first grade class. That's one. For what I did for my friend Keisha on our last day, 11th grade, on our junior year. I walked her home
Uh-huh.
because I was thinking more about her safety. You know, but people don't see that. People don't understand that. Hey, people don't understand. That I have a good heart and I can get real volatile when it's taken advantage of. And sometimes, most people don't understand that. Sometimes, hey, most times I like, I like to be left. I like to be left alone. I like to watch my football. I like to draw. I like to read. When I'm out by myself, I like to go have me a beer and some wings. Try to kick with Mario, whatever, and stuff like that, and talk about life. What us guys at 40, us guys over 40 years old need to be doing. Like me, I know I gotta start taking care of myself a little bit better health wise. I gotta, like I said, the physical ailments like my right knee, it's back and forth. I said I twisted something around my kneecap because
Uh-huh.
I had a limp for about a couple of days, and now straightening that out. I have left Achilles problems, so that's why I'm not running as much as I used to. I guess maybe that's all them years of running been catching up too. So I just want people to know from this interview, man. Hey, I'm not, you know, where I came from, hardship, humble, humble beginnings, so to speak. And right now it's progressed to adulthood. Like I said, I can be my own best friend. So, and I want people to know I'm not some little asshole that y'all just programming y'all minds to believe what you want to believe from somebody else. I'd rather you for to believe it from me. And also, I'm not lazy, and it is true what they say. I stick to my word. If you call me lazy in my face, even if I was at FedEx or any other job, if you call me lazy, I was punch you dead in the fucking mouth. Or if I said I had shitty work ethic, I was gonna punch you dead in your mother. I was gonna punch you dead in your fucking mouth. I ain't give a fuck who you were. Jimmy has gone on public record and said the same thing. He said if you said that around him and we were working around to say, man, Craig got some shitty ass work ethic. He was gonna punch you dead in your fucking mouth. So I'm selfless. I'm late. I'm not lazy. So you got me fucked up in that department. I'm far from lazy. Good heart, good natured, and something. And yeah, sometime I'm that one tiger that's in that. I'm that one tiger that's in. I'm that only tiger that's in the jungle that enjoys its solitude. So, that about sums it up.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely, man. So it's a pleasure doing this interview, man. So
Yeah, no problem,
once
brother.
again, once again, this your boy, live and direct in full effect out the 832. Y'all already know how both of us do, man. Good night. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay safe tonight. All right.
All right, peace out.